everyone to Yaka Digital Learning Network. This is an online platform where you can get content for learning in all the classrooms, right away from nursery up to senior 6. You'll get the content. If you want the content alone, you can get the content. If you want facilitation with the teachers, with the help of teachers, the teachers like Teacher Ben are available to help you. So I want to encourage each one of you, whoever wants to access the content, especially the one that we are going to learn today, you will get that content with Yaka. There is a team that is responsible for directing you where and how to get that content. So for some of you who will be interested, you tell your parents to help talk to the team that will guide you to get the content, so that next time when we meet, you should have been able to ask different questions from the work that you read in the site. We have the work in the site. So I want to welcome all of you to Primary 5 class. This is Teacher Ben Olepor, Learning Facilitator at Yaka Digital Learning Network. So I teach integrated science, learning facilitator, as I already said. So I am going to give instructions. I expect everyone here to have a book and a pen for integrated science, a book for integrated science where you will write whatever we shall discuss. You will write down, and also later, I know I will send you the slides. You keep following everything. As simple as that. So I would like us to start. So when you look at Primary 5 has got 12 topics. We have around 12 topics, and the first topic in Primary 5 syllabus is poultry keeping in science. After poultry keeping, you will go to measurements. After measurements, you look at immunization. And then the other one is the digestive system. These are the 4 topics that you will handle in first term. But today, we shall be starting with the first topic, and that is poultry. That is what we shall be starting with. And it is so interesting that all of us know what poultry is, because we have poultry at home. We have poultry at school. We have visited some farms where where poultry is kept. So allow me to share my screen. We shall be discussing as we move on. We shall be discussing, and you will be asked to contribute. If I call your name, you give the answer, right? Or I ask you to read, you do the reading. So that's it. So let's move on. Allow me to share my screen so that you're able to see what we are going to discuss today. Starting with the first topic in Primary 5, science, that is poultry. So we are I'm going to share my screen. I'm already sharing, and then you should be able by now at least to confirm that you're seeing my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. No. Not yet. It must be coming.
I don't see the words.
Sorry?
I don't see the words.
Okay, it is supposed to be like that first. So let's move on. So just as I told you that today we shall be looking at poultry. And this is our heading. This is the first topic in Primary 5. That is poultry. I hope everyone is seeing that. So what is poultry? What is poultry? I'm going to ask someone to tell us the answer. I see Nasha's hand up. Thank you. Nasha, what is poultry?
Poultry is the
rearing of poultry is the rearing of poultry. Poultry are domestic birds.
Poultry are domestic birds. Good. The answer is very correct. Another person. Do we have Lynette? Joshua, what is poultry? Joshua, what is poultry? Joshua, your microphone is mute.
Poultry are domestic birds reared by people.
Good. Poultry are domestic birds. Another person. Lynette? From what our friends have told us, Nasha said poultry are domestic birds. And also Joshua has also told us the same thing. So it is, their answers are very correct. But I also did say poultry refers to all kinds of domestic birds. Poultry, all kinds of domestic birds. Poultry refers to all kinds of domestic birds. Refers to all kinds of domestic birds. You should be able to write something down. This is what we're saying. We say that poultry refers to all kinds of domestic birds kept for a purpose. So these birds are kept for a purpose. Maybe for meat, maybe for eggs, maybe for cultural purposes. Maybe it is for cultural purposes. So when you're writing this definition, you're going to write them in lowercase letters. You don't write them in capital letters as I've written mine. You simply say poultry refers to all kinds of domestic birds kept for a purpose. As simple as that. So we also need to look at poultry keeping. There is what we call poultry keeping because there is a difference between poultry and poultry keeping. What is poultry keeping? What is poultry keeping? What is poultry keeping? Lynette, what is poultry keeping?
Poultry keeping is the rearing of domestic birds or fowls.
Good. Is the rearing of domestic birds or fowls? That is the correct answer. I don't need to add anything there because the answer is correct. So your work is just to take note of that. Poultry keeping is the rearing of domestic birds. Poultry keeping is the rearing of birds. Poultry keeping is the rearing of domestic birds. So that is what we call, that is what we said about poultry. Now we are moving on to examples of poultry. We have examples of poultry or types of poultry. Sometimes we say types of poultry, sometimes we say examples of types of poultry or examples of poultry. Who can tell us some of this? Nasha? Come again? Nasha?
Pigeons.
Correct. Elizabeth, we have Lynette.
Turkeys.
Good. Joshua?
Ducks.
Come again?
Ducks.
We have Samantha.
Goose.
Good. Akelo. Any example of poultry birds? Any example or type of poultry birds?
Broilers.
Come again?
Broiler.
Come again?
Broilers.
That one is a type of chicken. If you say a broiler, that is a type of.
Turkey.
I still see Joshua's hand up.
Parrot.
Correct. Nasha, I see still your hand also up.
Junior fowl.
Junior falls, as simple as that. So these are some of the examples. We have the chicken, the ducks. We have the chicken, the ducks, the pigeons. We also have the turkeys, the junior fowls, as you have said, peacocks, and also we have the parrots. So these are some of the few examples of poultry or types of poultry. There is someone speaking. You need to mute your microphones. I'm seeing Shara. There is noise coming from there. Try to mute your microphone. Also in Joshua's, I see there is some noise coming from your place. Okay, thank you. So let's move on. So these are some of the examples of poultry. If they say, give the examples of poultry, these are the ones that you'll mention. If they say, give the types of poultry, these are the same types of poultry. Children always get confused when we ask them to give the types of poultry. What they go on and write, they write their types of chicken. When we ask for types of chicken, it means you have to give the broilers, the layers, and then the dual purpose. But if we say types of poultry or examples of poultry, you just list these ones. Because we say poultry refers to all kinds of domestic birds. As long as it is a bird kept at home, it is referred to as poultry, as simple as that. So these are the things that you need to know. This is what you need to know. So these are the examples of poultry. I'm very happy that you guys are very, very active. And yeah, another day we shall be looking at we are still going to continue. So today we are still going to talk about the reasons why people keep poultry. Why do you think people do keep poultry? Why do people 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 keep poultry? That is our question. Why do people keep poultry? Joshua, I'm hearing someone speaking in the background. Please help us to mute that microphone. Samantha, can you tell us one reason why people keep poultry?
For meat production.
Very good. For meat production. I see Lynette.
For egg production.
Good. I'm seeing here Shera. Shera, can you tell us any reason why people keep poultry? I know even at home, in your place, you must be having poultry. You have the birds, you keep the chicken, you keep the ducks, the turkeys. You keep all these pigeons, the guinea fowls. Why do you keep them? Yes, Shera.
We sell and get money.
Good. That's very, very good. We have Akelo. Kayla Akelo. Why do we keep birds at home? All of us have birds at home. I'm very sure about that. And even though they are not there, we have seen them. Why do people keep birds? It is Akelo speaking.
To get money. Like when you sell them and then you get money.
Come again?
To get income.
To get income. To get income is the same as to sell and get money. So in your examination, if they ask you to give the reasons why people keep poultry, you can either say to get income or you say to sell and get money. All these are correct. All these are correct. But you don't write both. In case we say give two, you only give, if you decide to use income, that's okay. But you don't say Roman 1 to get income, Roman 2 to get money. That one will be 1 point. We shall give only 1 mark. I'm seeing, yes, let me give another opportunity to Samantha. Samantha, what could be another reason why people keep poultry?
To get feathers.
To get feathers. Good. To get feathers. All of us, we have seen people use feathers in different ways. People use feathers in different ways. And when we continue, we shall look at the uses of feathers. We shall look at the uses of feathers. When we continue, we shall look at all those uses of feathers. That's good. We also have let me get back to Nasha.
Poultry droppings are used as farmyard manure to improve on soil fertility.
Very good. Very, very good. Poultry droppings are used as farmyard manure. They are used as farmyard manure. They are used as farmyard manure. Poultry droppings are used as farmyard manure. They can ask you another question there. Which type of manure do we get from poultry droppings? Which type of manure do we get from poultry droppings? Let me give this opportunity to Shera. Which type of manure do we get from poultry droppings? Shera? Samantha?
Farmyard manure.
Farmyard manure. Good. Now, another question comes in. Which type of organic, which type of natural fertilizers do we get from animal droppings? Which type of natural fertilizers do we get from animal droppings? Which type of natural fertilizers do we get from animal droppings? Yes, Nasha?
Manure.
No, not really. As long as they say type of natural fertilizers we get from animal droppings? You don't just say manure. Let's hear from another person, and that is Samantha. Which type of natural fertilizers do we get from animal droppings?
Humus.
Come again?
Humus.
No, not really. Another person. I want everybody to try. Which type of natural fertilizers do we get from animal droppings? The other first question was, which type of manure do we get from chicken droppings? And then we said farmyard manure. Now we have a question saying, which type of natural fertilizers do we get from animal droppings? Let's give this opportunity to Joshua. Joshua, what is your view on this?
Farmyard manure.
Good. Farmyard manure. That's very good. The answer is correct. So if they ask you that question, saying which type of natural fertilizers do we get from animal, simply say farmyard manure. We have around 4 types of natural fertilizers. We have around 4 types of natural fertilizers. And the first one is organic manure. Organic manure is the one we call locally humus because we get from dead plants. That one is organic manure. And then we have the compost manure. Compost manure. Compost manure, we get it from household refuse. Household refuse. Household refuse. You can mix the food remains, the food that remained in the food you're pouring, the rubbish you sweep, all the dust you remove from the house, all that you collect and get compost manure. You just collect, and then after some time it rots, and then you get the compost manure. And then the other one is the other type of natural fertilizers is the farmyard manure. Farmyard manure. This one we get it from animal droppings. Even though they say that name the type of manure that we get from cows or cow dung, animal dung and urine, it is still farmyard manure. So as I said that there are 4 types of natural fertilizers. The first one is organic manure, which we naturally call humus. Then the other one is compost manure. We get it from household refuse. And then we have farmyard manure from animal droppings. And then lastly, we have green manure. Green manure. Green manure, you cut the green plant cover, the grass, and then allow them to ferment, to rot, and then the result you will get is what we call green manure. When we continue, we shall look at all these things, and we have all this in the site. If you can get access to this work, you will be in position to read ahead, so that when we meet, you're able to ask me questions where you have. We meet and then we are just discussing easily. Like I'm very sure that Nasha has access to this work, and even Lynette has access, Joshua has access, but I don't know if Akelo, Samantha, and Shira also have the access. But I wish you well. I wish you could get access so that when we get in class, you will be in position to you be in the same line with us, same line with us. So I want you to take the message back that if I could get access, so that you can look at all these things. You see what we are discussing, all of it, whatever we are discussing, it is in the site. All this work is there. So we need to embrace this online learning, and then for us as teachers, We are available. Anytime you want us, we shall be in position to help you. So we have talked much about the reasons why people rear, poultry, and we have these reasons to give. One, someone told us that for egg and meat production, and I'm very happy about that. You can write this. These are, by the way, 2 points. These are 2 points. Let me have Shira to read for us this. Shira?
For meat and egg production.
Good. So I was telling you that you can actually make 2 points here. If they ask you in your examination that give any 2 reasons why people rear poultry. One, say for meat production, full stop. That is a mark. For us, we shall mark it correct. And then the other one, you can say for egg production. Your 2 points are already there. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can make these 2 points. One is for meat production, then the other one is for egg production. That's good.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
May I go and use the restroom?
It's okay. It's okay. You will join us soon. Then the other point is, which we already talked about. We say that this one, I think nobody mentioned it. People keep poultry for cultural purposes. For cultural purposes. I want someone to read for us this. Akelo, read for us that point.
People keep poultry for cultural purposes like dowry and rituals.
Good. Like dowry and rituals. As simple as that. People keep poultry for cultural purposes. Cultural purposes like dowry. Dowry is something paid, a price paid for something, for mostly marriage. It can be for marriage. The dictionary talks about a girl paying something to the boy's parents, but it is the contrary. We don't see this happening. We always see boys paying dowry to the girl's parents in order to get the girl to marry her. So this is so. In some communities, people use dowry. People use poultry like this very chicken. People use chicken to marry somebody, just as dowry. And then the other one is the rituals. Rituals can be sacrifices. You want to sacrifice something? You take the poultry. You take the corpse. Like some people who have ever gone to those their bad places in the shrines. There are some shrines where they will ask you to bring a cock. That go bring a cock. So this is what we are talking about, rituals. Some people keep poultry for cultural purposes like rituals. You go to the shrine and then a witch doctor asks you to bring a black cock. So you take. So that is one of the reasons why people keep poultry. Then the other reason is for dowry. You go and look for to marry a girl. They tell you that bring dowry, which is in the form of chicken. Bring 10 chicken, and you do so. So this is what you need to. That is what you need to know. Then the other reason is this one. Let me ask Samantha to read for us this one.
Poultry keeping is a source of income and employment.
Good. Poultry keeping is a source of income and employment. So when you talk about this one here, you can also actually make 2 points here. One, you can say it is a source of employment. and we shall give you a correct answer without any reasonable doubt. Just put there, people keep poultry for employment. Poultry is a source of, poultry keeping is a source of employment. And then you're sure of a mark. And then another person can simply say, poultry keeping is a source of income. And then we give you a mark. So this science is very simple because we learn things that are in the environment. Everything that happens in the environment. Everything that happens in the environment. This is what we learn. Anything, by the way, even just when you're eating, eating is science. When you're speaking is science. You go and playing is science. So when we continue, we shall get to know more and more about science. It is so interesting when you reach primary 5 and primary 6, and when you get good teachers who can guide you and give you all the details about integrated science. When we go to P6, we shall be learning about the body systems, like the reproductive system and the respiratory system. We shall also be looking at the other classifications of animals and plants in the environment. So let's move on. The other point is this one. I want Lynette to read for us this one.
Poultry droppings are used as farmyard manure to improve on soil fertility.
To improve on soil fertility. Good. To improve on soil fertility. I see someone here. That's good. I see Alupo Patricia is with us. I think she joined us a little bit late, but next time I want you to at least try to keep time so that we shall be in the same pace. So Patricia, you're most welcome. We are handling poultry. We already defined the poultry. We said that poultry refers to all kinds of domestic birds. We also talked about poultry keeping, where your friends told me that poultry keeping is the rearing of domestic birds, which is very correct. They also went ahead and listed the examples of poultry. Those birds that are kept at home. They talked about the chicken, the pigeons, the parrots, the doves, ducks, turkeys, guinea fowls, etc., etc. It is so. Those are some of the things that we looked at before you joined us. Now you got us to discussing the reasons why people keep poultry, and here we are. So I was talking about poultry. This other point that I told Lynette to read, and she already read it, that poultry droppings are used as farmyard manure to improve on soil fertility. That's very good. Very, very correct. So another question can be asked to you. They will say, how can you improve on soil fertility? You can say by adding manure into the soil. By adding manure into the soil. So let's move on and look at another point, which I expect Patricia to read first. Patricia, can you read for us that point? Patricia, your microphone is mute. Try to unmute and speak. Try to unmute and speak. Read for us this point. I think Patricia is not able. Let's move on to Akelo. Can you read for us that point?
To get feathers, for different purposes, e.g., making pillows, decoration, dancing props, cushions.
As simple as that. So this is what you need to know about poultry. The other reason why people rear poultry is to get feathers for different purposes, e.g., making pillows, decoration, and then dancing props. Dancing props is you've seen people putting on feathers while dancing, performing traditional dances. Some put in the head, some put in mostly in the head there. They tie the feathers in the head. So that is culture that dictates about that warrants them to use feathers for that. For these different purposes. Some use them for making pillows. So in your examination, you don't need to disturb yourself. Simply say, poultry is used to make, poultry provides us with feathers used for decoration. Another person can say used for making pillows. Another one can say used for making cushions. As simple as that. Used for making cushions. So these are the reasons why people keep poultry. Then the other one is this is the last point that we are going to look at. This is that I want to Nasha to read for us this point.
Some birds are kept as pets in homes, e.g., peacocks, hens, and parrots.
As simple as that. So some birds are kept as pets, and someone will say, what are pets? What are pets? What are pets? What are pets? Someone to give us the right answer. What are pets? I hope Joshua is back. What are pets? But I see Lynette. Lynette, can you tell us what pets are?
Pets are birds or animals kept at home.
That is Lynette's idea. Let's hear from Samantha also.
Pets are animals
Samantha, can you repeat that?
kept at home. Pets are animals or birds kept at home for company.
For company, that's she has brought in a new word there. Company. Let's hear from Joshua.
Pets are animals or birds kept by man for company.
A company, good. Let's hear from Akelo. I see answers are coming.
Pets are domestic animals or birds kept at home.
Kept at home. So all your ideas are good. All your ideas are good. Animals or birds kept for company. But you can also add another word, kept for fun. Pets are birds, or it is not necessarily birds. It can be even any other animals, because even rabbits are pets. Even dogs, people keep dogs as pets, though dogs also provide security or protection, but they also kept as pets. So pets are animals kept for fun and also to give man company. As simple as that. So when you say pets are animals kept for company, it is very correct. It is very correct. If you say pets are animals kept for fun, it is very, very correct. It is very, very correct. As simple as that. I'm seeing Joshua's hand is up. Maybe there is something he wants to say. Is there anything, Joshua?
No?
Okay. So let's move on. on, my laptop is getting off. So we are going to summarize now. So this is what we wanted to discuss today. So tomorrow or next week, again next week, we shall have our lesson. On Thursday, this very time, we are going to continue with this work. So a recap of what we have already looked at. Maybe I will hear from you guys. What have we been discussing as we finish up, as we close now? What have we been discussing? What have we been discussing? Because another day we shall not repeat this, and I expect everyone to write this. To write this down. If you have not finished, I will send you the work, and then you will be in position to do that, or rather to write down. So let me give opportunity to different people to tell us what they have already covered. Let's start with Joshua. Yes, Joshua. Okay, as Joshua is organizing, we can start with Nasha.
I have written about examples of poultry or types of poultry and why do people rear poultry and terms used in poultry rearing.
Okay, that's good. That is
draw an internal features of a bird diagram, importance of each part on a bird.
Okay, Nasha, that is good. So next week, we shall be looking at the terms used in poultry. After looking at the terms, we shall also look at the external parts of poultry. Let me hear from Samantha.
For me, what I covered are the vices in poultry. At school, we discussed about poultry keeping, poultry, and how to care for poultry. We learned some parts of the internal and external parts of a poultry barn.
Okay. I was, by the way, this question was specifically direct on reminding us what we have just covered today, right now. So this is what I expect. Let me hear from Patricia. At least don't go away without saying a word. Yes, Patricia. Patricia, Alupu Patricia. Okay, I think she still has challenges with her microphone. Let's hear from Lynette.
Today we have the definition of poultry and poultry keeping. Examples of poultry or types of poultry.
Good.
And reasons why people rear poultry.
And reasons why people rear poultry. As simple as that. As simple as that. So this is what we have been looking at. And next week, we shall be looking at the terms used in poultry and the other things that we shall be discussing. So this is what we were looking at. We looked at poultry. We looked at poultry. We say that poultry it refers to all kinds of domestic birds kept for a purpose. So this is what we looked at. Then we also went ahead and looked at the definition of poultry keeping. We say that poultry keeping is the keeping or rearing of domestic birds or foals. Then we also went ahead and talked about examples of poultry or types of poultry, just as Lynette has told us. Then we talked about the chicken, the ducks, talked about the pigeons, talked about the turkeys, talked about the guinea fowls, talked about the peacocks, talked about the parrots, also talked about the reasons why people keep poultry. Why do people rear poultry? Rearing is the same as keeping. Why do people rear poultry? And the first point that we talked about is for meat production or for egg production. Then the other one, we also talked about people keep poultry for cultural purposes like dowry. And then poultry keeping is a source of income and employment. Poultry keeping, poultry droppings are also used as farmyard manure, used as farmyard manure. So this is what we talked about today. Simple as that. So we are going to stop here, and I want to stop sharing my screen and then move on to get any questions that you may be having. If there is any question in regards to what we have covered today, if there is any question, you can ask. If there is any question, feel free to ask. I'm happy that other people came late. Patricia came late, but next time make sure you come earlier. Yes. So anybody with a question, you raise up your hand if there is any question. If there is no question, I'm seeing someone raising. There is a proper way of raising the hand, but let me allow Patricia to ask. Yes, say something. Patricia? Okay. I think they still have, here you don't fear anything. Just be free, feel free to ask any question. Don't fear anything. So I want to thank you so much. I want to thank Shera for attending. Thank you very much for attending. I do encourage you to get access to this work so that you will be in the same line with us. We have Akele. Akele, thank you very much.
Mommy, you have one ask.
Get access to work. You'll communicate with our team that is on the ground so that they can give you access to getting this work on the site so that we shall move on in the same pace. We have Joshua. Thank you very much for attending and participating actively. We also have Elizabeth, that is Lynette. Thank you very much for attending and participating actively. We have
Welcome.
Nasham. Nashas, thank you very much for participating actively. And I wish you the best. We have Patricia here and also our host, that is the manager, the Accra Digital Learning Network, that is Mr. Bernard. Thank you so much for the good work and the service that you're providing to this little Ugandan. Thank you very much. I want to wish you the best. And I wish to meet you again next time. Thank you. I remain still Teacher Ben, Learning Facilitator at Accra Digital Learning Network. Thank you so much for attending.
Welcome.
Bye.
Thanks for teaching.